Emerging adulthood is a period between the late teens and early 20s, ages 18 to 25. According to Jeffrey Arnett, that emerging adulthood is neither adolescence nor is it young adulthood. Individuals in this age period have left behind the relative dependency of childhood and adolescence but have not yet taken the responsibilities of adulthood. Emerging adulthood is a time of life when many different directions remains possible, when little about the future is decided for certain, when the scope of independent exploration of life's possibilities is greater for most people than it will be any period of that life course. The moral and spiritual development. Why moral and spiritual development together? What is morality? What is spirituality? What do they have in common? Its purpose, meaning of life, interaction with others, connection with others and the divine, connection of our acts to greater purpose.
Kohlberg's model.
Kohlberg's model includes three levels of morality: the pre-conventional, the conventional, and the post-conventional morality. Pre-conventional, the punishment obedience orientation, in which the child follows rules to avoid punishment. Authorities are accepted as always right. Rules are literal with no judgment. In concrete individualistic orientation, rules are followed to serve personal interest. Reciprocity is only an issue in terms of receiving rewards. Conventional, social, relational, perspective. Shared feelings and group membership are primarily motivations. Rule following is based on individual social acceptance. The member of society perspective, maintenance of the social order is most important. Rules keep society civil. Rules are still imposed from external force. Post-conventional, prior rights and social contract. Rules are based on a social contract meant to operate for the good of the people. Rules can and should be changed for the good of humankind. Universal ethical principles, abstract moral principles are most important, focus on human rights and higher good, theoretical. Paris model. Paris model includes the intellectual developmental stages, the dualism, multiplicity, relativism, and commitment. Basic duality. Focus on right versus wrong with no alternatives. Power is invested in authorities. Good behavior is rewarded. Bad behavior is punished. No opportunity for self-awareness. Dualism, multiplicity, pre-legitimate, allows for multiple views within a dualistic worldwide. Authorized no long hold truth, but absolute truth still exists. Gray areas, wrong interpretations, and authorities playing game. Multiplicity, subordinate, or early multiplicity. One true answer exists, but it may be unknown by authority figures. Acknowledgement of fuzzy areas of knowledge, more emphasis on the right methods or procedures. Complex dualism and advanced multiplicity. Individual claims the dualism but is faced with the reality of diversity of opinions and legitimate uncertainty. Two common options, the independent, like thought, everyone has a right to an opinion. Relativism. Relativity is the general property of the universe. First, the person divides the world into a relativistic area and into a dualistic area where authority still has answers. Second, the whole world is seen as the relativistic, but this position alternates with the dualistic position. Finally, the whole world is seen as relativistic. Relativism, commitment, forcing. person sees the need of the commitment to stand in the face of relativism. Commitment is a mature decision made in the face of relativism and evaluation of all alternatives. Commitment has not yet been made at this stage. Initial commitment. First, mature commitment may be scary for the individual, starts with small commitments and grows larger. Stylistic commitment. Once commitment has been made, the question remains how and in what way. Mature commitment. Independent thought with mature commitment to lifestyle and ideals. Next is the spirituality. Fowler's model of spiritual development. So Fowler's model of spiritual development has 7 stages: sacrificial, mystical, personal, group, literal, imaginative, undifferentiated. Fowler's model of faith. Faith spans one entire life. Faith meant a dynamic, trusting orientation toward life, others, and a higher power. Faith gives direction to people's life, links self to others, enables people to face life's challenges. Mythic literal faith, decline of egocentrism and increase in reciprocity. Become delusioned when find bad things happen to good people. Stage transition, contradiction in literal interpretation of narratives. Synthetic conventional faith, typical age range, adolescence to adulthood, characterized by conformity and authority resting in external sources, accept and value the evaluation of others, beliefs are more actively accepted.
Personality development refers to the process through which the organized thought and behavior patterns that make up a person's unique personality emerge over time. Many factors influence personality, including genetics and environment, how we were parented, and societal variables. Emerging adulthood is a period from late teens to early 20s. It is where exploration of options prior to committing to adult roles happen. Developmental tasks are also addressed. Here are the key features of emerging adulthood. First is identity explorations. Emerging adults have become more independent of their parents than they were as adolescents, and most of them have left home. They have not yet entered the stable, enduring commitments typical of adult life, such as long-term job, marriage, and parenthood. The second one is instability. The identity explorations of emerging adults and their shifting choices in love and work make this life stage not only exceptionally full and intense, but also exceptionally unstable. These revisions are a natural consequence of their explorations. The third one is self-focus. By focusing on themselves, emerging adults develop skills at daily living, gain a better understanding of who they are and what they want from life, and begin to build a foundation for their adult lives. The goal of their self-focusing is to learn to stand alone as a self-sufficient person. The next one is feeling in between. The exploration and instability of emerging adulthood give it the quality of an in-between period. Possibilities. It offers the potential for changing dramatically the direction of one's life. Lastly, optimism. Emerging adults look to the future and envision a well-paying, satisfying job, a loving, lifelong marriage to their soulmate, and the happy children who are above average. Personality development in emerging adulthood. This stage is a time of substantial personality change characterized by large inter-individual diversity. In this stage of development, an individual's personality is shaped, molded, and strengthened as journey to adulthood begins. This may subject to good or bad changes, depending on how an individual reacts or copes with the shift. Maturity level of a person is tested in this stage as life begins to unfold into a more complex and changing one. This stage of development is the prologue that leads to a new chapter of life. So what is early adulthood? Early adulthood is a period from late 20s to 40s. It is the settling down age and a time for commitments. It is where the application of developmental progress happens. Here are the developmental tasks in early adulthood. First one is exploring intimate relationships. The time when men and women explore the possibility of forming relationships that combine emotional closeness, shared interests, and a shared vision of the future and sexual intimacy. Most young people are hoping to marry and become involved in dating relationships or friendship relationships, one of which is transformed into a more serious pattern of courtship and marriage. Childbearing. Parenting plays a significant role in the development of adult achievement, both cognitive ability and socio-economic achievement. Moderate levels of warmth, low levels of strictness, and high parental expectation are associated with high adult achievement. Positive parenting has long-term benefits including better relationships, mental health, and well-being during adulthood. Lastly, work and lifestyle. Establishing a career, deciding on and pursuing a career, or at least an initial career direction and pursuing an education. During early adulthood, achievements at work and interpersonal relationships become important in people's life. Take a closer look at professional and socio-emotional achievements, including what they are and what factors can lead to success in those areas. Personality development in early adulthood. Early adulthood is a period of rapid personal development when individuals experience major life transitions, such as leaving the parental home, leaving education, beginning employment, cohabitation, and parenthood. In this stage, life and love is more established, and an individual is looking for stability and smooth flow. Positive development in all aspects is expected as an individual gets to live the goal and is set to the journey of adulthood. This stage contains positive personality impacts as maturity level rises and emotional and personal intelligence heightens.
Historically, early adulthood spanned from approximately 18 years until 40 to 45 years. More recently, developmentalists have divided this age period into two separate stages: emerging adulthood followed by early adulthood. Although these age periods differ in their physical, cognitive, and social development, overall, the age period from 18 to 45 years is a time of peak physical capabilities and the emergence of more mature cognitive development, financial independence, and intimate relationships. The physiological peak. People in their 20s and 30s are considered young adults. If you are in your early 20s, good news. You are probably at the peak of your physiological development. Your reproductive system, motor ability, strength, and lung capacity are operating at their best. Now, here is the bad news. These systems will now start a slow, gradual decline so that by the time you reach your mid to late 30s, you will begin to notice signs of aging. This includes a decline in your immune system, your response time, and in your ability to recover quickly from physical exertion. For example, you may have noticed that it takes you quite some time to stop panting after running to class or taking the stairs. But here is more good news. Getting out of shape is not an inevitable part of aging. It is probably due to the fact that you have become less physically active and have experienced greater stress. Although, at the peak of physical health, a concern for early adults is the current rate of obesity. Results from the 2015 National Center for Health Statistics indicate that an estimated 70.7% of U.S. adults aged 20 and over are overweight and 37.9% are obese. Body Mass Index, or the BMI, is expressed as weight in kilograms divided by height in meters squared. Is commonly used to classify overweight, obesity, and extreme obesity. In an American survey, one's 20s are the prime time to gain weight, as the average person gains 1 to 2 pounds per year from early adulthood into middle adulthood. A healthy but risky time. Doctors' visits are less frequent in early adulthood than for those in midlife and late adulthood, and are necessitated primarily by injury and pregnancy. However, among the top 5 causes of death in young adulthood are non-intentional injury, including motor vehicle accidents, homicide, and suicide. Cancer and heart disease complete the list. Rates of violent death, homicide, suicide, and accidents are highest among young adult males and vary by race and ethnicity. Physical changes in early adulthood include reaching full height and weight, muscle gains, and a slight increase in body fat. Early adults also peak in physiological functioning as they experience increased muscle strength, reaction time, agility, bone density, and cardiac functioning. Current trends or issues. Illicit drug use peaks between the ages of 19 and 20 and then begins to decline. And 25% of those who smoke cigarettes, a third of those who smoke marijuana, and 70% of those who abuse cocaine began using after age 17. Others use it because they have friends who use it, and in their early 20s, there is still a good deal of pressure to conform. Some young adults use it as a way of coping with stressors from family, personal relationships, or concerns over being on one's own.
Cognitive development emerging in early adulthood. Adulthood is a stage of person's life when they have reached complete physical and mental development. It is often assumed to begin in the age of 18. And the transition from the adolescence to the stages of adulthood is linked to specific biological events and more personal, social, cultural forces or events. And some of the normative events associated with young adulthood includes the following: graduating from high school, moving out of the parents' home, entering into a committed relationship, starting down a career path, and financially independence. In accordance with Klaus Warren Sky, a professor of human development and a psychologist at Wayne State, he devoted his research to the study of cognitive development over the lifespan, and called the adolescence is the period of acquisition, acquiring the ability of formal operational thinking. However, he didn't define that young adulthood is a period of achieving wherein the individual uses their intellectual ability to make decisions, to solve problems, set and work toward the achievement of goals such as family or career objectives, which is known as a post-formal thought. In the young adulthood period, it is undeniable to think which is considered to be the most difficult decision they could possibly be, anxious to think about what would really be the role that you will play right after their graduation. This will illustrate that Erickson's fifth stage of psychosocial development, which is identity, may continue on as an unresolved issue for the young adult. Backing up on the fifth stage of Erickson's psychosocial development, the identity in Gold's theory, he agreed that identity formation when people are challenging the false assumption that they will always enjoy the safety of their parents. They must build an identity that their parents cannot control or dominate. He said that the first stage of young or early adulthood is the period of developing independence, challenging their parents' assumptions of the world, finding safety beyond parents, developing a sense of family beyond their core family, dealing with issues related to physical development. There are challenges of transitioning to the workforce that are different from the challenges in school. Here are some of the challenges of transitioning. In school, you may have a lot of teachers, but in the workplace, may have only one boss. In school, a lot of frequent evaluations like exam, report cards, while in work, our annual, quarterly, or monthly review. In school, one might have short-term relationship with classmates and long-term relationship with co-workers. In school, sometimes someone who told you what to do and when it's you, but in the workplace, maybe someone told you or maybe have to figure it out. You must be self-motivated all the time. They are just examples of different experience might an individual can experience upon growing up, taking place to another stage of human life. Another one of those normative events of young adulthood is that majority of people must work and earn money to become financially independent. This is factual example for every one of us. The following are the qualities that an employer will expect from an employee, and many of them would also be applied to self-employment. In the work ethics, it includes the pride, the attendance, integrity, attitude, and the maximum effort of a person. The other column of a work excellence, we can actually see that there are productivity, communication and service, problem solving and time management, appearance, followership and organization, and a continuous learning, and be a good team leader. Here are just some of a few examples. And in the cultural norms of young adulthood is someone related to what Erickson's sixth stage of psychosocial development, intimacy, which is entering into a committed relationship. Intimacy means a close family and usually affectionate or loving personal relationship with another person. It is reciprocal or two-sided. It may or may not include sexual intimacy, and also it may or may not end in a marriage, which may depend on the laws of your state. Not achieving this can also lead to feelings of isolation. To conclude my presentation, in cognitive development, emerging and early adulthood are often referred to as a starting of 18 and 20 to 30s. In this period, when people continued identity exploration and preparation for full independence from parents. People are also more focused on securing their future and putting a lot of energy towards making the best choices that will probably help one another earn the status of a full adult in the eyes of others. Their primary concern includes love or affectionate and their career at this stage of life. Thank you.
Social-emotional development in early adulthood. Social-emotional development in early adulthood. Continuity and discontinuity from childhood to adulthood. Attraction, love, and close relationships. Intimate relationships. The diversity of adult lifestyles. Gender, relationships, and self-development. Temperament. Activity level. Adjustment, inhibition, emotionality. Activity level. In one longitudinal study, children who were highly active at age of 4 were likely to be very outgoing at 23, demonstrating continuity. From adolescence into early adulthood, most individuals show fewer emotional mood swings, become more responsible, and engage in less risk-taking behavior, which reflects this continuity. Adjustment. Number 1. In one longitudinal study, children who had an easy temperament at age 3 to 5 were likely to be well adjusted as young adults. Number 2. Children who had a difficult temperament at age 3 to 5 were often not well adjusted as young adults. Number 3. Boys with a difficult temperament in childhood were found to be less likely as adults to continue their formal education. Number 4. Girls with a difficult temperament in childhood were found to experience more marital conflict. Emotionality. In one longitudinal study, when 3-year-olds showed good control of their emotions and were resilient in the face of stress, they were likely to continue to handle emotions effectively as adults. When 3-year-olds had low emotional control and were not very resilient, they were likely to show problems in these areas as young adults. Inhibition. Individuals with an inhibited temperament in childhood are less likely as adults to be assertive, experience social support, and to delay in entering a stable job track. Attachment. Securely attached, insecure dismissing, insecure preoccupied, attachment and romantic relationships. Securely attached. About 50 to 60% of adults are securely attached. These individuals provide realistic, coherent descriptions of their childhood and appear to understand how past experiences affect their current lives as adults. Securely attached. About 60 to 50% of adults are securely attached. These individuals provide realistic, coherent descriptions of their childhood and appear to understand how past experiences affect their current lives as adults. Insecure dismissing. Approximately 25 to 30% of adults fall into this category of attachment. They don't want to discuss their relationship with their parent or do not seem invested in them. Their memories often focus on negative experiences, such as being rejected or neglected. Insecure preoccupied. Approximately 15% of adults fall into this category of attachment. They readily talk about their relationships, but they tend to be incoherent and disorganized. They appear to be unable to move beyond their childhood issues with parents and often express anger towards them or ongoing efforts to please Attachment and romantic relationships. Romantic partners fulfill some of the same needs for adults as parents do for children. Adults count on romantic partners to be secure base to which they can return and obtain comfort and security in stressful times. Studies show a link between the quality of childhood attachment relationships and the quality of adult romantic relationships. Attraction, love, and close relationships. Attraction, the phases of love, loneliness. Attraction, familiarity and similarity. Physical attraction. Familiarity and similarity. Familiarity is a condition that is necessary for a close relationship to develop. We likely to associate with people similar to us. We tend to have similar attitudes, behavior, clothes, characteristics, intelligence, personality, values, lifestyles. Physical attraction. Men and women across many cultures differ on the importance they place on good looks when they seek an intimate partner. Women tend to rate considerateness, honesty, dependability, kindness, and understanding as most important. Men tend to prefer good looks, cooking skills, and frugality. The force of similarity operates at a physical level, as explained by the matching hypothesis. Continuity and discontinuity from childhood to adulthood, temperament and attachment. Consensual validation. Consensual validation provides an explanation of why people are attracted to others who are similar to them. Our own attitudes and behavior are supported when someone else's attitude and behavior are similar to ours. Similarity implies that we will enjoy doing the same things with the other person. The matching hypothesis. The matching hypothesis states that while we may prefer a more attractive person in the abstract, in the real world we end up choosing someone who is close to our own level of attractiveness.
So the changes that I've noticed as I grow older are first my mindset towards money, or like how to handle money. Sa una pagbata na ako, wala kayo ko'y paki kung saan ako money or like ako ba siyang i-save or something. But ako yung goal adto time is kung makadawat ko money, kung yes na nakoy kwarta pampalit sa akong gusto. Like gusto ko makapalit og mga duwa ang white pulos, mga candy, nga na siya, like very simple. And then now, complicated na siya. Like, na-realize na ko nga anang daghan yung pamaliton, like mahal na mga pamaliton. Like, kailangan i-save ni mo yung money, i-budget. Like, kung pwede lang makapangita kag way nga makapalit kag kanang cheaper, adto jud ka. Basta lang naka-masave. So, yeah. Mana kung changes sa mindset towards money. Next is mindset towards my body, or like physical appearance. Sa una pagbata na ako, anang self-conscious ko, pero not to the point to press karon. Sa una is okay ra na ako, basta lang jud hinlo na ko ang face, dili ko bungis-ngis, okay na. Tapos ang nakalako na ko, presentable na ko, okay na. And then karon is very self-conscious na ko. Like, towards my hair, towards my dress, towards how I act, yan na. Then, ako pong nabantayan ako mga insecurities. Like, ano na siya misud, pag dako na ko. Like, does my face looks round, or am I too slim? Na very concerning na. Kaya na din,
gusto ko nga every time maka-meet ko someone or anyone, gusto ko nga kanang presentable ko. Like, kanang mag-ready ba, ready to meet someone, inga na siya. Mo na akong mindset na ron. Very self-conscious. Like, conscious ko unsay lahang pananaw sa ako, especially physical appearance na ko. Next is on how I handle an argument or a fight. Sa una, kung na'y mangaway na ko or like kanang maka-experience ko ka ng argument, sa away, muhila ko. Like, muhilak pa ko. Di na ko confront ako ang mga tao nga na-involve ato nga fight. Di man lang ko makikistorya nila. Muhilak lang ko. Like, mga tabang hilak. Yan na siya. Like, very pathetic. Wow. Karon, ako na-realize is, di na ako muhilak. Asat na yung fight, na ako muhilak kung like, grabe na yun siya nga fight. Pero kanang di pa kayo deep fight, di ko muhilak. Ko, muhilom na ko, then dili na, di mo storya. Like, di mo storya sa, especially kung on heat pa ang fight or ang argument. I let it cool down sa lang, and then kung ma-okay na, not okay, pero kung masattled na, wala na yung kanang init ng ulo, kanang usap pa makikistorya kung unsay nakitabo, like unsay na cause sa fight, unsay pwedeng isolusyon, or like kung may misunderstanding, work things out, yeah, para ma-okay ra balik. That's all.
Very good.
Dapat Merg.
Parang chismisa na. Maritis.
Mag-share naman ka sa imuhang iba. Like,
Pwede, Mayra?
kaya pa man siya.
Oh, sige, go.
If we, kuhan na tanan.
Yeah.
Share. Like, kalahayan sa imong gibati karon. Like, tanan. Like, sa imong way.
From head to toe.
Ka, or sa imong physical baron. Compared sa una.
Layo, agad kaayo, day. Kaysa una, bisan pag sa imong buhaton, walay sakit. Wala kay bation, bisan pag maligo kay kadlaw, nya maglaros-laros ka sa kay kontrapwa. Pero pag karon nagano mo ila pagtungtong kay kay. Kana, nasamot nanganak na ka. Pangatlong panganak, wa na daghan na sakit imo mga rheumatoid. Sakit imo mga panukot. Di na ka pwede maligo kay mo biyahe. O tinuod na kasaway ko anak kay magbuot magbuot. Ay siya mo to. That's karon. Sakit na akong tuhod boy.
Ano pero di ba mga anak kay mga butang sa unang di na kayo ni mo mahimurol? Like,
Oo oy. Tinuod na. Siya mo na ka nang mag-arsa-arsa mga bukat. Bukas ko akong ilong. O tinuod sakit akong likod. Pag-iyak ka na. Imo sa una kay gaan ra man gud. Karon sa mo stress. Sa una no stress na karon na. Wala na ko stress ron.
Ay, sana.
Charot.
yes, dapat.
Oy. Kay what is tinuod jud na oy differential rin kayo kas imong tawag na menstruation. Alayo na gid sa una o karon ay.
Yes, ka naman.
Sa una pwede ra ka maligo-ligo. Karon samot dili gid pwede. Unya daghan mo bation dai eh.
Yes.
Kanang musayo kag mata. Di pero pwede na ko kanang okay ra sa sud sa bahay. Pero say kung mata sa nang bugnaw and go knock down. Tinuod yun. Unya, hindi ka mo tulong og kaon. Awas. I'm sorry. Sa una ka nang pwede, hindi ka mo kaon, hindi ka unya na ka niya. Dugay matog. Hindi na pwede. Ganda na siya matulog. Uy, hindi pwede.
Hi guys, I'm Hyacinth and this is Anna, and today we're going to interview science majors about their lives as emerging adults. So let's go!
So we have here Lorraine Casa
great factor in building our morals and our directions in life. Kay, pero na ako makaingon jud ko na my religion is the reason as to why I am able to overcome things, have a mindset towards other adversities that I face in life, ganon, and then ganun, it keeps me grounded as well and humbled. Kay being fearful to God, it helps you be more honest with yourself, be more kind to others, like
So, Ref, what are the changes before karon?
usually before, all I really thought about religion, I didn't really care much about it. We even have many thoughts about it. So, sa una, as a Katoliko, one day we just go to church every Sunday, gano'n, attend the mass, and like, mga holiday, gano'n. But then, as of now, it became a major part in my life as it was before. Kay, sa una, I didn't really put much thought into it, maka-help na ako, basta mag-pray, gano'n. Yeah. Karon, ka-realize na ako na importante din it keeps me more faithful to not only to God but for myself, like be more confidence. Tapos, it also helps me be more guided kay makahunahon ako dahil what I would do, like I would be able to consider the consequences of every action I would make. Kay we also have like the different commandments tayo, like different prayers, like the Bible also to guide us. So, it is a great way in order to keep myself safe and be more respectful towards other life and be more
My question is, as an emerging adult, what are the changes and development na you have noticed sa iyong personality?
oh my God. So, unang pagkabata dyan ako, my personality, I would say na bandita yung mga bully dyan ko. Ay, bully! Bully ko pagkabata. And like, I didn't really connect. It was more emotionally driven. I didn't really have that. So, basically, diba, as we have capabilities, reasoning, and being able to feel and feeling. When I was a kid, that's why being under 18, like, pagkabata, like, we can't really say na we're capable of doing more of things. We're more dependent on our emotions, how we feel. Kaya alam ko na kung nasuko ako, we didn't get this thing. We mostly, like, it's expected to do tantrums. But right now, when things don't go our way in this age, right, we learn to be more, we learn to, like, before doing anything, like acting out. Yeah, we're more, insightful to ourselves. We're more capable of having an introspective outlook upon ourselves. So, it says a lot about our personality, guys. So now we're not really guided or disciplined. And then, karon, we think more about the consequences. Is this worth it? The personality. So una, I could say that I was independent. And as an emerging adult, I become more mature, independent, and like much more fun. I'm more in touch with myself and learning more about myself. So it helped a lot in making my personality better. Mas na confident na, more grounded with myself, who I am as a person. You're more capable of understanding different concepts, and then as a personality, yeah, it's much you have more outlook on life compared to being a child na you're not really capable of understanding such intellectual things. Karon, it's better yun as an emerging adult na naka-sense own thought with your own decisions and you're independent with your own actions and confident as you do them. Unang dako na change as an emerging adult na realize na I'm more confident in speaking up, kung sa kong gusto, kung sa kong feeling, in a way na mature, sad, and sensible, and respectful towards others. So, mas kibaw na communicate and engage.